I guess you knew and blew a good thing. Yeah, I'm working on the vocals, but yeah. Welcome back. Good evening. Your favorite card tender here to talk about a new world. So, we want to talk about, you saw the title tonight, 50 and Unmarried. So let's see. Why am I 50 and unmarried? Let me see. The one that I took serious, she was already married, I think, but she was separated. Another one was crazy. The one after that one was crazy. Then after that, I kind of went crazy. Then I had the one I thought I had, but then that one wanted to kind of run the streets and hang out as much as me, even though I said, you know what, I'm gonna stop hanging out as much. But hey, they felt like they wanted to keep the party going. So you know what I'm saying? Thought I had one, but then that was the party girl. Then I ran into another party girl. At least I think she was a party girl. All right, and then just just a whole bevy of good friends. But is it their fault? Of course not. It's not their fault. It's my fault. Couple things. First off, anytime when you're picking somebody or dealing with someone, that person has to be in training first, right? So what do I mean by training? I know people are going to say, "Oh, train me like training a dog or something like that." Nah, training as far as certain things that you do. Like for instance, you try to come in the house at a decent time, especially if you live together, even if you guys don't live together, trying to have certain respects for boundaries, just of, hey, listen, I'm not going to be out till 12 o'clock tonight on a Tuesday for Tasty Tuesdays, so, or just things like that, things that, even me, I had to learn how to mature and kind of grow up and do because I didn't become a father until late. But it is my fault because, for years, what you'll do is that you'll go, especially guys, because I think most guys, unless pressed, wouldn't get married. Now I could be lying, or I could be just giving you some stuff from other people that I know, who've been married and or divorced. But I think most of the guys that I know who've been married, I'd say just about all of them, have first off, they have integrity, right? They have integrity. They don't try to, for the most part, because it's not always everybody. They don't try to cheat the system, And I'm talking about the guys I know and have done stuff for the most part the right way. All right. So even in that song I was playing by Nas, and the reason I wanted to play it is because one line that he says in there is that a lot of you guys talk a lot of trash about being married, but at least he tried. Now I'll be one of the first ones to say, have I given up on ever being married? Let me think. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that I've given up on being married. But I think as anybody, when you start getting older, you become more cynical. You become more set in your ways. You're already aware of a lot of different pitfalls. So you're saying to yourself, you know what? I'm apprehensive about that. So I kind of don't want to fall in those pitfalls. But these are the debates I've had with friends, just different women I've dated, over the course of time. And it always comes up, very rarely do we come up with the same conclusion or on the same page. Like I'll give you, for instance, I've talked to some friends before, and I'll say female and male, right? And they'll say, hey, look, all it is a contract. All it is a contract. What are we sitting around doing this for? You know what I'm saying? I know I'm only worth $2,300. You know what I'm saying? And I know you worth like what, $7,000-8,000 or whatever. So, but look, you know what I'm saying? I ain't getting married unless I got a prenup. I'm not getting married because why get married? Because see, once you get married, you know how it goes. That changes everything. Now, she feel like she own you. He feel like he own you. You know what I'm saying? Just a lot of different excuses as to the reasons why I feel like people go in this back and forth. So, just looking up some of the statistics online and, on average, from what I've seen from most of the data, about right now, 47.5% or 47.6% of people in America are married. So some people would say, well, why would marriage go down? Why is marriage not as coveted as it once was? I think for one thing is that you have a lot more women working now, especially at younger ages, making good money. In actuality, maybe a lot more money or better money than the men that they are with making. But so there's not one of those kind of deals where, like, I remember my grandmother used to work a couple of days a week, and my grandfather, he worked most of the time, so he provided most of the money. Then back then, you didn't have cell phones, you didn't have to pay for cable. Every kid wants an iPhone 16, right now at 8 years old, right? And so it's a lot of things that in our society we did not need before that are now either a necessity or a want that's being fulfilled. All right, for whatever reasons. Oh, because I need to stay in touch with the kids, and yeah, okay, but do they need an iPhone 16? Right? So that's one thing. So financially, you have more women who are in a position to take care of themselves, right? And I'm not a woman, so I don't know, but maybe they just feel like they just don't want to get married. They feel like maybe it's not even worth getting married. I'll just date this guy or I'll deal with this guy. But something tells me that most of these women, if they found a suitable mate, would want to get married. Now, as a guy, looking at it from a guy's perspective, and I want to shout out my friends Shell and Ryan, and they've been married for a long period of time. And the one thing I give to them is that they try and they do the stuff together. And a lot of times, I'll even give them a lot of credit because, both of them, they'll give up, their weekends to do a lot of stuff with their kids, as most people should do. But you'd be surprised how many people don't feel like doing it. All right. Or how many people, although they're married or want to be married, they still live separate lives. And I think that's a big thing about it also is that because I feel like at the time, maybe when I wanted to be married, the other person just wasn't on the same kind of thinking. Because I feel like a lot of times guys date younger. So when I was ready to kind of like settle and not, have a bunch of stuff going on or whatever, I think that the other person was still kind of in their prime of wanting to, do this, to go out, to see a lot of the stuff that, I had already seen or done or felt like I had already done, previously in my life. So, you have those situations. And then, I just feel like you got a lot of people that just don't want to, and it's a commitment thing. And I know I've heard this before. I know I used to hear Kevin Samuels say it before, and it's marry before you carry, which is, it should, and be the thing to do. You want to marry before you carry, because think about it. As much as people talk about, hey, listen, it's hard to get out of a marriage. It's difficult. It's a contract. You know how hard it is to get out of a baby? Impossible. Lifetime. 18 years behind for the rest of your life. I know even now my mom, dad, always worried about me. I still got a call when I get home. And I'm 50. And I still got a call when I get home. You know what I mean? I got a text when I get home. And guess what? If I don't do it when I get home, I still get a call. So it's a lifelong commitment that starts from just about, 15, 20, depending on how good you are, hour and a half of fun. And boom, just like that, you can be pregnant, right? But not boom, just like that, can you be married? So just in thinking about that, just think about that. How many kids have been born and the dad never says, you know what? I appreciate, and I am going to put a lot of this on the guys. I appreciate you having this kid for me. And, but I need to marry you. And I think that the commitment needs to be there before you get married or before you have a child, because the child is a lifelong. And once again, because just like anybody else, hey, I raise my hand because, Lord, I have sinned and I did the wrong thing. But guess what? Doesn't mean I don't love my kids any less. It just means that I should have done the right thing as far as saying, hey, before I do this, before I get myself into, because that's always the funny thing. We always know what we get ourselves into. There's 20, 30 different types of birth control. Yeah, sometimes want to sneak past, but for the most part, we have birth control. We have uh, condoms, that most of us don't like to wear, but that's okay. We have all of these different things, but yet, the kids still come out, right? And then, we have a lot of, disenfranchised homes, but that's for another video. So I will say the one thing, and I'll wrap up with this. The one thing that made me kind of look and reevaluate and think about certain things as far as being married, getting married. I had gotten into a really bad accident, a little while ago. All right, and for legal and loving purposes, we won't say exactly when, but I had gotten into an accident a little while ago, and I touched on this in one of the previous videos I had. What about your friends? And the biggest eye-opening thing for me was, here it is. I had my mom, and I had other, once again, other friends, and listen, they did a hell of a job. They really did. My friends, I gotta give it up to them, and it's a lot of them, so I can't name all of them right now, but they did a hell of a job. People checking on me, from as far away as Charlotte, checking on me, making sure that I was okay. But there's something about when you really get hurt, and it could be true or it could be false, where you start to feel like you've been diminished. As a person, you start to feel like, especially because the accident I had was a leg injury, so it was kind of hard for me to get around. So you kind of feel like, am I the problem? Like, and what I'm alluding to is, when you got to lay in a bed by yourself, and how a game goes. You can have friends and stuff like that, but when a lot of nights you got to lay there by yourself, and even deeper than what a girlfriend probably could be. But if you have your wife there to help you out, or your husband, and a person not just entitled, but a person, because of their level of commitment, they've reinforced to you and shown you that, hey, look, we go through stuff. Everybody's dysfunctional. But guess what, doggy? When it goes down, I'm here for you. I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to make sure that you're okay. And it's crazy because, my mom and my step-pop, they've been married for over 30 years. And, just even looking and taking inspiration from that. Like I said, it would take me sometimes 10 minutes to get downstairs. It felt like I had a walker upstairs. I had a walker downstairs. So my mom, since she has the other key, she'd be coming in with the groceries, and then the stuff that, she couldn't carry that was too heavy for her, like bottled waters or, big jugs of tea or 2-liter sodas or whatever, he was behind her bringing it in. And when I looked at it and I thought about it, I was like, wow. Like I said, they've been married over 30 years, but, I'm sitting thinking to myself, like, wow, like, is this, because, as you get older, and I ain't calling them old in case they see this, but as you get older, that's the cool part about it. Like when we're young or younger, you may see the value in more doing what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it. But as you get older and you start going through real life stuff, then, unfortunately, at those older ages, you start seeing the value in the little things like that. Having somebody that's gonna ride out with you, having somebody that's gonna sit and listen to you complain half the time and occasionally look over at you and say, will you shut up? Because think about it. That's all anybody ever wants, right? Everybody wants just somebody that they can call theirs. And, the thing is that it's nice to call somebody theirs and, you can say, hey, look, that's my wife. You know what I mean? I sometimes I feel funny, 50 years old, walking around, yo, man, yeah, I want you to meet my girl, or I want you to meet my lady. Nah. Too old in the game for that, to me. So, although as my cousin Kev says, and others say, the dating pool is piss, I get it. And there's a lot more in there than just piss. But hey, in closing, I just want to say, check it out. If you are married, you got somebody that's good, you got somebody that's decent, stick it out. You know what I mean? Because, hey, look, we don't know how long we got this life for. We don't know what's going on. But what I do know is that when, I probably gotten the most severe case in case in my life where something happened to me. Guess who bailed me out? A married couple, my mom and my steppa Blue. So hopefully you got a good married couple around you if you're not already one married, because guess what? Married couples save the day. Till next time.